كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله ولو آمن أهل الكتاب لكان خيرا لهم.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. In UNGS 2090, the Islamic Worldview and Civilization, we have our topic which is talking about the Islamic Civilization. We have many interviews with some students and one lecture. It was talking about the Islamic civilization. We have three questions. The first question, how did the Islamic civilization affect in the world? The second question, why the Islamic civilization declined now? The third question, how can we be again to its strength?
Islamic civilization is what Islam has given to the world from established rules and great principles and values that has benefited humanity and contributed to the advancement of the world through the system of Islam.
I think that the Islamic civilization were a foundation at the beginning of the early ages, when the scientists of Muslims created the foundations of most of the science we know today, just like the Khwarizmi and some other scholars. They were the foundation in the camera, for instance.
Okay, in my opinion, the Islamic civilization have done a lot to the world, especially back then when the Prophet first came and when Islam first, it was at its peak, but things have changed now.
Because they are following a system that was created by the Creator, the most knowledgeable of all. He knows it all. He created everything you can see. He knows what's best for all of us.
The Arabic knowledge, it was taken and it was translated to English, and there's that thing that's called Europeanism, which is basically taking the Arabic knowledge or whatever knowledge it is and making it related to Europe. So this happened, and because of that, many people does not know that the main source of knowledge came from Islam.
Is that they're more like consuming the products of the Westerners. By consuming, I mean they're consumers. They don't really produce as much as they were supposed to be. And this is the reason why the Westerners view the Muslims and view our whole civilization as a consumer civilization. And
the system was created by God, okay? The reason why I would trust the system that was created by God and not trust the system that was created by human beings don't have, life is a videotape, okay? And in every era, people would live for a limited time. Thus, they can only obtain limited knowledge.
Basically, they stop following the main things, the main rules of Islam, and the consequences of that is people fighting, people being in wars, and for example, how Islam now, the people differentiate between one Muslim and another based on their race, based on gender, based on their, like Shia, Sunni, and many different things.
But so long as we don't really apply the Islamic teachings to to prove that these teachings are what gets our lives to be perfect, not perfect, but get our life to be somewhat good and acceptable in order to live a happy life. So this is what I'm asking from the Muslim countries to do. I'm asking to start practically applying these Islamic teachings, and by doing that, we can start building up.
Basically, just look at the reason why it declined and do the opposite. We can regain the power of Islam just by getting back to following and obeying exactly what Islam asked us to do. So, because when they did, they were at the best, like Islam was at the best place. But when they stopped, it just declined. So obviously, if you want to make it happen again, you just have to follow the rules, and Islam will be back to being up there.
That Muslim Ummah needs to know the importance of knowledge, especially Islamic knowledge, to spread it out to the world and tell everyone about what is Islam and what's the correct definition of Islam.
In short, the only way for us to go back is to have sincere leaders and sincere scholars. These two people are the role have the most. I would say the bigger. They're the ones that can influence and can put changes into our lives.
And I have real hopes that if the minority, I just as I mentioned now, if the minority of those who already have the awareness to raise again as Muslims, try to have that much of an influence on others, then this could pretty much create a future generation who really apply these teachings, and only those minority are able to do that.
And of course, Muslim Ummah needs to point out the correct and the wrong teaching from Holy Quran and Sunnah Nabawiyyah Sharifa, which are the most important primary sources for the Muslim that left by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
So long as you believe in it and spread these awareness and these ideas, perhaps the future generations would go back to these findings you had and these ideas and start building up the civilization again. Maybe it's not now, but I have real hopes for the future to come. Thank you.
As you guys know, the very important part in the Islamic civilization is Tawhid.
Their students came to Arab country to study, to Islamic country to study. Like now, we are going to other country to study. In the past, they were coming to our country to study because the science it was in the high level. It's more than now.
The Islam scholars very excellent because even though in economy the economist father Adam Smith he writes the book that in the past our scholar even hard already writes this mini sentence.
Yeah, about the sociology.
Sociology, history.
Talking about it, also about the philosophy, a lot of science.
Chinese culture, right? Yeah. We have very excellent scholar. His name is Kongzi. Yeah, Kongzi. And then he just a lot of his students wrote a book just talking about the words. A lot of his thinking and his rules. It's very similar to Quran.
Also, it's come from Islamic.
It seems like that the Quran and Islam helps the Muslim to open their minds and contemplate around the world and tafakkur and interact with things.
Even though they they take our books and then they will building they translate our book.
About the decline of our civilization, I think the most or the main reason for that is we are getting old. getting away from Islam.
Yeah, we can say we are getting away from Islam.
Yeah, and we are following the Western.
We are following.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowadays, many things cannot, the science cannot solve it, and you can find the answer in Quran.
Yeah.
Sometimes we didn't care about the knowledge, about how search about the teachers. Just we when we around to playing something and waste our time.
Actually, I think the most important reason is because like the colonials, when they came to our country, and the country, all of them like their thinking is like a Western. It's not like Islamic. Yeah.
They planted the conflict.
Because of the colonialism.
What's the reason? Why did they do that?
They can,
No, because we allow.
yeah, we allowed them to come because we were.
The big mistake, the big problem is not them, us.
It's because of us.
So how we can improve that?
How can we come back to be straight to the world?
We come back to Islam, straightforward for Islam. We follow the rules and
What do you think about
this
that?
is
How
the
can we
first
become
one.
instructions?
The second thing.
Follow this and then
Follow the rules. Start from ourselves and then influence our surroundings.
Change ourselves.
Yeah.
so it's
we read the history, like we read the history and we get benefits.
But most of Muslims they thinking the best civilization is the Western civilization, not the Islamic.
Because they
We get
did
the-
not
we
read
get-
the
we
Bible.
get the-
Very different
the-
from Western civilization and the Islamic civilization.
There is no
And
no-
then they
What
Muslims
we
think we need to change. We need to change our rules, not follow the Quran in this world.
Yeah, now
we teach us to become like this. We read about the Islamic civilization, right? Then when we read our history, we feel something. We were different in the past, so we must not come back to the past. We must to increase the future. We feel like new way to improve our ummah.
as you,
Let's
the
come
Western,
back.
yeah, the Western also the Western culture has a lot of good aspects.
Can't say
Yeah,
But we should
but
also learn about
Learn
their
from
we
culture.
didn't-
As we then learn from us, then they build their civilization. We'll learn from our
Our
grandfathers,
culture to
grandmothers,
jumping
and
our-
we'll
Yeah,
learn
because
combine them together.
for me, one of the reason our civilization is declining because sometimes we are too proud about ourselves.
Yeah.
So I
So
think
we're doing the best.
in for that we have to increase.
I think most
We have to learn about other cultures.
Yeah.
It's not just our culture.
Yeah.
We have to respect others, right? So it's not too proud about ourselves.
All
We should
these rules
also-
or all these points you mentioned are found in Quran.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Quran
We
asks
must
us to
everything.
do this, but we don't understand the Quran. And
Yeah.
this
We
is
must
what-
understand.
So we are
We are so
so far.
You
Yeah.
know, Qatar, Iran. I don't know why. All of us is Muslim, right?
They fight
But
with
they
their
fight
There is
with
one
each
topic
other.
Muslim.
Yeah, they fight with their ummah. So that's why we have to be together. Then we can improve our civilization. We can read back.
How can we be together? There's a lot of racism.
We must to make
There's
one
most
guy.
racism there.
We must to make one guy.
One guy who will building this.
One
Not
leader.
welding, just one labor.
Yeah,
Our
to have labor.
Because we have a lot of them now.
There's a lot of
They
most of them
they are fighting between them, and also the people of them they fighting together, and nobody will leave.
No, I talk about the Western. It's made by the human, but the Islamic civilization it has made by Allah. So
No,
They
call them Muslims.
By
yeah,
Muslims.
the Muslim, but it's returned to the Quran and Sunnah.
The Quran will guide us.
Yeah,
These
who
are
guide-
this cone, Allah create this cone and make the rules for this cone. How anyone wants to succeed, he has to follow these rules.
So
Anyone
we
wants
have
to
to-
decline has to follow these rules. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the Quran or guide us to follow the good rules to make civilization.
to make our
But the
civilization.
Western, they didn't have a guide. They have no more to God. They destroy our civilization.
Has huge impact, not both, I would say in all aspects, in life, in social, in economics, the way human interacts, to technology. I would say it has huge impact in all aspects of life. I actually asked this question to me in the class, and he actually answered it well. I think once we deviate ourselves from the true callings, from what we need to do actually, when we've forgotten that our role as a human being is to become Hanifah, when we put our self-need first, we became selfish, like some of the students actually answered that, when they become selfish, disunited, so everything will fall apart. So I would say that his answer is correct. So if once we deviated from the true teaching of Islam, okay, we forgot about amanah, we forgot about ihsan and ihsan, everything will fall. Engineers love to solve problems. We already know what's the problem. We also actually already have the solutions in hand. We already have a book of instruction. We have the Quran, and we also have the Hadith. So you must have that balance. So I think once we understand, we understand that our reason to be in this world, to be the Khalifah, and we keep ourselves to the book, the Quran, I think inshallah we will be able to restore what we have once left behind.
Inshallah.